Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I wanted to talk about Visceral's Star Wars game and an article I stumbled across that confirms that the new game will take place on Tatooine, and it also gives us some information about at what time the game takes place. I just want to clarify right here at the start that this is not any breaking news about the game and there hasn't been any more official information about the game, but I simply stumbled across an article that was written about 1 month after the EA Play reveal that showed snippets of Visceral's game, which is most likely why a lot of people, including myself, missed this information and why I thought it still deserved a video, as I'm guessing that most of you probably haven't read this article. So let's start off with what official footage we have so far. We have this very short snippet from someone who walks out of what looks like a cantina, and on top of that we have a couple of concept art images that has been revealed, but that is about it. A lot of people speculated that this planet was Tatooine, but as far as I understood, not a lot of people found proper evidence for it, other than that it's a sand planet, at least not right after the reveal. Well, in this article by GamesRadar, they point out some very convincing evidence that the game is in fact taking place on Tatooine on Mos Eisley, so let's jump straight into their points. First off, we have this image. Did you recognize those two things? Well, I didn't, but apparently they are both actually shown in A New Hope right here. So that alone is a pretty convincing piece of evidence that this is in fact Mos Eisley. But there's plenty more that they discovered. Do you see this tall tower in the background? Well, that large tower is also shown in A New Hope, and I think that pretty much confirms that it is in fact Mos Eisley on Tatooine. On top of that, we can even narrow it down to the same cantina that Chewie and Han were in, because if you take a look at this lamp we can see the character standing at, you will see that it's the same one we can see behind Han and Chewie in A New Hope. The designers at Visceral Games have really paid a lot of attention to detail here, which I think is very cool. On top of the game being on Tatooine and Mos Eisley, this gameplay clip actually reveals that the game might take place at the same exact time as A New Hope did. The reason for this is that, as we can see in the clip, the planet seems to be occupied by the Empire as judging by the banners, the Star Destroyers and so on. Tatooine is a resource-lacking planet in the Outer Rim that has only attracted the Empire at one point, when Leia's blockade runner was captured and a certain pair of droids made off with the Death Star plans in A New Hope. So unless some other event has caused the Empire to return to Tatooine, I would bet that this game will take place right around the events of A New Hope. And on top of that, since the droids and other trash outside of the cantina is at the same exact spot as in A New Hope, that's yet another clue to what point in history the game takes place. My guess is that we will follow the story of one or possibly two characters, judging by the concept art, who have no affiliation to Leia or the Rebels, at least not to those events directly, and how they perceived all these events with the Empire occupying Tatooine and so on. Although I'm a little bit disappointed that we're getting another game set on Tatooine, I think it could be very cool to follow along the events in the movies, but from a completely other perspective. Again, this is all just pure speculation. I think the only thing we can confirm for sure is that the game is taking place on Tatooine, unless they decided to clone Mos Eisley structures altogether, which is highly unlikely. Let me know in the comments below what your hopes are for Visceral Star Wars game, and if you found any other details regarding what the game could be about or when it's taking place. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.